Hello, welcome to my studio. I'm Tim Packer. We've put together a little video of you of 4 different time lapses of paintings that are going to be at my upcoming show at Koyman Galleries. So the show opens on Saturday, February 25th. I'm going to be in attendance from noon until 5. And I've actually gone in and put commentary over all of these time lapses as well. So I hope you enjoy it. And without further ado, Cameron, let's put into the time lapse. So the first thing I do is on my canvas, which is toned red, I block in the areas of the foliage in a light purple, and then using a black, I block in the tree shapes. And at this stage, composition is everything. I'm really trying to create a complete composition that moves the eye around the painting. Once that's finished, I put a thin coating of oil on the canvas and mix up my yellows. And I have a variety of yellows on my palette. Hundreds of different variations of yellows, oranges, and greens. And then I'm just painting the foliage using my photo as a reference, but not getting really too persnickety. I'm really just kind of looking at pathways of light yellows, of orange yellows, of green yellows. And I'm trying to make each brushstroke count so that I can put a good brushstroke of the right color, the right intensity, in the right place, and the right shape at the right time, and then not have to go back and touch it. And then it's time to kind of resolve the sun, get in that lightest light, plus the sun on the trees, and gradate out away from the sun. Then coming at the far edges of the painting with the deepest blues, and gradating that blue, getting lighter and lighter and warmer as we get towards the sun. So rather than having pathways of color in this piece, it's a very smooth gradation from the deep blue to the lighter blue. And then finally resolving in all the areas of the sky. And finally, it's just touching up those little areas around the sun and anywhere where the red of the canvas is showing through. And once that's done, I figure that's it. And the next stage is to sign the piece. And this is actually a really tricky part of it. It's taken me a while to get good at this because it's a part of the composition, and as well, you need to do it right the first time. So I rest my hand on a little support and then sign my name in white paint. And here's the finished piece, Symphony in blue and gold, 3 feet by 4 feet. This next piece is a 40 by 60, and this was going to be a little different because it was going to be fairly monochromatic. Most of my work has a lot of different colors in it. This one was going to be mainly in the yellows and ochres. So again, as in the last piece, once I blocked in my composition, I put a thin coating of oil on the piece, and then I start blocking in the foliage. And in here I've got, even though the foliage is mainly yellows, there's like 30 or 40 different varieties and incarnations of yellows on here. And so I block in the foliage, and again I'm trying to create pathways for the eye. You can make out these kind of sweeping curves that move the eye in towards the sun. And then it's time to paint the sky. This piece is a little different. This is kind of more typical. The last one was basically a solid gradation from deep blue to lighter blues. Here, I'm creating all of these pathways through the sky using a variety of colors. If you look at my palette, you can see the colors I've got mixed there that go right from light oranges to yellows to pinks to purples to blues. But the main concept here is we go from the cooler and darker versions at the outside and the lighter and warmer versions as we get towards the sun. Again, that's that double whammy of having the pathways created by the foliage and then the pathways created by these colors in the sky. And then it's time to move to the bottom of the painting. And here it's one of those things, to really get the effect of the light, I need to make sure that there's areas of the bottom that are dark enough. Because you can't really give the impression of light without some darks. So the question is, how dark does it need to go? Well, the answer is dark enough. And enough is one of those words that comes up all the time in paintings. And basically at the end, it's resolve the sun and the light on the trees. Sign the piece, and here is white veil gold. I'm actually really happy with this piece, and it actually got a lot of reaction. This next piece is very different for me. It's mainly in greens, and most of you will know that I don't do an awful lot of painting in greens. But when I was up at Batchewana Bay last fall, the fall was very late in coming. But I love the fact that there's a huge variety of greens, and also a lot of the leaves had dropped. So it gives me an opportunity for those of you who love green to do some green pieces where it's not a solid wall of foliage. And yeah, I'm really happy with this piece. And again, if you like greens, you don't see that much from me. This is a winter piece that incorporates kind of everything: the sun, birch trees, the snow shadows. So once again, the most important thing is the composition. And so that's blocked in. And then usually if I'm doing birches near the sun, I'll put the sun in first. Now I also have blocked in my initial thing that tree on the right just lightly. So you can see I'm painting everywhere where there is not trees or foliage indicated, it becomes sky with the same sort of concepts as before. And then it's blocking in the shadow patterns of the snow. And then it goes from this deep blue to kind of a pink to then the lighter color of the snow. And you can't really tell the subtleties here, but I block in all of the light struck areas with what's still sort of, it's not quite a white, it's probably a value 1.5 on the value scale. It's kind of a creamy white, and I'll come back in later with the lightest lights. But then it's time to block in some of the birch trees. And it's important to note when I do these, I don't know exactly how many birch trees I'm going to have in there. And so I do them kind of one at a time until I think it's enough. And it's very much kind of responding to what's going on in the painting and the feeling I have for it. Well, then it's block in the foliage that's in front of the distant hill, and then put in that distant hill or low mountain. This is up at Mont Tremblant. And then that bright red that I put in the left I really like, but I had to echo that red in other places so that it didn't disrupt the composition. And then here I am basically putting on those lightest lights on the snow, and then we can call this piece done. So this is Tremblant Sparkle, 36 by 36. I think it really captures the effect of Mont Tremblant. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching that. As I said, I'll be at Koyman Galleries on Saturday, February 25th for the opening of my show. I hope I will see you there. Bye-bye for now.